Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla. Thanks for stopping by and visiting with me today. We need to play catch up. But why don't you grab you a drink and a project to work on. I'm not going to work on a project right now. I'm just going to sit and visit with you guys. And hopefully you have something to work on while you just listen to me ramble and chat and catch you up on what's been going on. First off, I'd like to say Merry Christmas. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you just enjoyed yourself no matter what you were doing, no matter what was going on in your life or who you was with or not with. I hope you enjoyed your day. I will go ahead and warn you, there will be some coughing in this video, unfortunately. I'll, try my best, but a lot has been going on. This has been a really rough month for me. Like, I thought November was rough, and in October, I've just had things going on for so long, and it's just piled up and caught up. So I don't even remember like the last bit I've told you, so if things repeat, I apologize, but I normally do repeat things because I can't even remember what I said and didn't say anyway. I have a super bad memory. I am drinking some sweet tea, but my cup's not full, and so I went ahead and I saw this little bit of strawberry Fanta in there, so I just grabbed it in case I run out of tea, because I need to keep drinking just hopefully cut down on my coughing some. Not that it really helps, but let's see. I don't even know, like I said, I don't know where I left off with you guys at last. Trying to think, but I don't know. I've just been struggling really bad. I told you about this numbness that I have going on in my body. It has spread up. It started low and it has spread up till it has just come all the way up, and my skin is just it's numb, it's thick, and it's tight, and it came up from the bottom and it's came up, and my breasts are like that, and it's just it's scary for me, but nobody seems to be alarmed about it like I am. And so right after that is when I started having some breathing issues. So that really scares me. But the doctor I saw this past Friday, she said that it's just my skin. Don't worry about my lungs. Yeah, how do you tell somebody that and listen to, how do you listen to that knowing that you're having a little labored breathing? But I will go ahead and say right here that I did have a chest x-ray today, and my lungs are clear, but I'm coughing and hacking and just been sick as a dog. Let's just back up to the week of Christmas. Before that happened, before Christmas, I was already sick and not feeling well, but I pushed myself to do a couple of things around here that needed to get done for for hosting Christmas, and so I did way too much. And I've paid for it. I've paid for it dearly. Tuesday, Christmas Eve, we went to, what did we do that day? We were here all day, and then we went to church that night for Christmas service, and then and me. Oh wait, let me back up. Let me back up. Elijah and Chastity came in that morning. They came in Tuesday morning. Their plans got switched up a little, and they finally made it in. I was so glad to see them. And then they needed to go and see Chastity's family, so they left and did that. And then we went to church with with Dakota and Carlton. Carlton was actually singing several specials, and let me tell you, that man can sing. He sang Holy Night, and I sat there and just listened to the words and his voice, and it was about to bring some tears, okay? I had to get a hold of myself because it was powerful. He sang several songs. I can't remember. Is there somebody there? No. I can't remember exactly every song he sang, but that man can sing. I knew he could sing, but I didn't know that it was going to be that powerful and just pulling my heartstrings like that. But let me just say, my son Dakota and I, we're the same. He looks like his daddy, but he acts just like me, and everybody knows it. You can't put the two of us together in a serious situation because we don't know how to behave. You don't put us together if you need to be quiet and serious, and it's a serious event. I'm gonna say this: we was not disrespectful in no kind of way. We enjoyed the service, and I never been to a Methodist Christmas Eve service, and so it was quite different for me. I grew up Assembly of God. Big Daddy grew up Pentecost. We raised Dakota Southern Baptist. We raised Elijah non-denominational. So we're at a Methodist church, and they have a service, a Christmas Eve service. I guess the same service they do every year or whatever. It was very nice, very well put together. Like I said, I enjoyed it very much. It was a more audience and participation than I ever would have dreamed. And so I just didn't know it was interactive. And they were having communion that night. Okay, so we're sitting there, and it's time for the communion, and they hold up these baskets. I can't see the baskets because I can't see, like, I can barely see you. I can barely see the screen here. This lady holds up these baskets, and then another person holds up like this big cup of wine, which I'm sure is grape juice, but I'll say wine because and she held up the wine. I looked at her, I said, everybody's not going to drink from the same cup, are they? And he's like, I hope not. Because at our church, you get just a little thimble. Everybody gets a little thimble of grape juice. And so, and a little cracker, like a little oyster type cracker, the little stop sign looking one. And so, Big Daddy said he wasn't going to do it. And I was like, why not? Yeah, we are. The only way you wouldn't do it is if you're a non-believer and we believe. And so he's like, are you going to do it, Dakota? And Dakota's like, yeah. And so he's like, okay. So when it come our turn, when the lady got to our row, we stood up and stepped out and got in the line. And we're about midway in the church, and so we get all the way up. It's me, then Big Daddy, and there's a man in front of him. And I just happened to see you pull the bread off, and then you dip it in the wine, and then you eat your bread and, go back to your seat. And so my first thought was, how am I going to dip that bread in the wine and not drop the bread? because, you know, I mean, like, I just don't have a lot to work with. And I have trouble holding on to stuff and gripping stuff and all that. And so I was just like, how am I going to do that? And so I got the bread, and I had to stand. I was kind of embarrassed. I had to stand there for a minute and just get that just right so I could hold it, and there was enough there to dip it in the wine. Okay, so, and it was like, it wasn't crackers. It was like baked bread. It was bread. It was a round loaf of bread, and so I got it in my hand, I dipped it in there, and then I turned, and I was like, I can't eat bread. I mean, it never dawned on me. I have not ate bread in I don't know how long. 4 or more years. I have not ate bread. I miss bread desperately. But bread is not going to go down my esophagus. I would be throwing up everywhere because it would go about right there and get stuck, and then we'd have a mess. And so I was like, I got this wet bread in my hand, and I'm like, I can't even eat bread. What am I doing? What am I doing? And so we go back to our seats, and I'm like, I told the guy, I was like, I can't eat bread. And he's laughing at me because why did I do it? Why did I go up there? I don't know. I never thought about it. It was so crazy. And Big Daddy's getting aggravated at me and Dakota because that's not the first time we had, you know, had a giggle in the whole thing, you know. He just takes that bread from my hand and puts it in his pocket. I can tell he's aggravated with us. Well, next, everybody has this candle, this little candle. The bottom of the candle that you hold on to is about like this, and then it's a little fluke, and then it's a candle sticking up. So they turned off all the lights, and then they come through and they light the first person's candle, then they light the next, and you light the next, and you like that. Okay. So I was just like, oh my God, they're going to give me fire. Dakota about lost it. He was trying to hold it together, and I was just like, they're turning off the lights and giving me fire. And so the lady lights Big Daddy's candle. He lights mine. He's like, don't you drop that. I'm like, I'm not, I'm holding it. And I have to light Dakota's. And then I'm just sitting there holding the candle and trying not to drop it because I don't want to catch the church on fire. And so, and we're singing a song. And at one point, everybody like raises their candle up in the air. Well, I can't do that because I will drop the thing, okay? So I just kind of raised it up as much as I could. And we sang the song and then blew our candles out. Then it was over. I mean, and we sang lots of songs during the night and said, you know, some prayers and different things like that. It was a very lovely service. I would definitely go to the service again, but I would not partake in communion. I wouldn't want to look rude or anything like that, but there's no way I could do that. But anyway, and then we all went and met up at Applebee's for Elijah's birthday. His birthday was December the 10th, but because he lives in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and we're here, we didn't get to, you know, celebrate his birthday. So I wanted to just have a special night for him and celebrate. So we went and met at Applebee's, and Dakota made Elijah a cake. Now, I a lot of times can eat cake. I can eat Dakota's. I have tried cakes from other places, and sometimes I can't eat them. But Dakota's is very moist and fluffy and just kind of crumbles. It's not like packed. you know how some, it's not dense and heavy. It crumbles up into just like basically sand, I guess. I don't know. And then I'm able to swallow it. Other places, cake, and especially breads, are more like dense, not gooey, but doughy. I don't know. But they don't crumble up. You just have this ball of dough in your mouth that you gotta swallow. That does not go down my esophagus. And so I was able to eat some of Elijah's birthday cake that Dakota made him. And let me just tell you, that man can bake a cake. And it was delish. It was a spice cake. And I can't remember the sassy girl. I can't remember what he put in the icing, what he called the icing. But Sassy, don't do that. Don't do that, Sassy. But it was very delish. I loved it. And so I was able to eat a piece of his cake and the icing. So don't forget the icing. I ate some extra icing. Because for my meal, I ordered their garlic mashed potatoes. They have one that's just garlic mashed potatoes, and then they have one that's loaded mashed potatoes. Well, I need that, and that had bacon and stuff in it, and I cannot eat. Bacon's not going to go down my esophagus. And so I got the mashed potatoes. When they brought it to me, I thought it was bacon in it, but after I said that to somebody else, they said, oh, they leave this potato skin. I was like, oh, no wonder I couldn't eat that. I was trying to pick out all the potato skin. But then it had these little hard balls in there that I guess are supposed to melt and be the mashed potatoes. I don't know. But, and it wasn't good. It was dry. It needed like a ton of butter, some more milk to make it creamy. It was very stiff and more like eating Play-Doh. And so I tried a couple of bites, and I was just like, it ain't worth it. So I just sat and visited with everyone while they enjoyed their meal and chatted, you know, and talked, and enjoyed the night very much. Was just glad that, you know, we were all together. That's all I wanted. It was just all of us to be together. And we stayed there about 2.5 hours. I think everybody was just like, oh, I should shut up so I can leave. But I just love talking to all of them, and, you know, and let me just tell y'all some bad news right off the bat here. You know, Dakota loves working at Bake 318, the bakery where he works. He loves it. That's his passion, is baking and decorating cakes and making all the different pastries and pies and all that kind of stuff. The bakery closed. Saturday was officially their last day. I think they went in today to, like, you know, start clearing out, and they had a few orders that need to be filled, and so they were doing that, and yeah, but the bakery shut down. And so that is a very bad time, or this time of the year is a very bad time, as you know, for Dakota to have to look for a job, because people are going to be laying people off, you know, letting people go, just like they do every year after Christmas. And so it's not the time to be looking for a job. Ugh, I hate that for him. I hate it for him. He just moved, and yeah, there's just a lot. And so he is going to be doing some cakes and pastries and stuff from home and trying to do that online. So he's made a website, and I hope he pops back up on YouTube. I haven't talked to him about it, but hopefully he will. He's a grown man. He'll figure it out. You know, not trying to figure it out for him. He'll figure it out. And so, but I just hate that it's happened, because I know he did enjoy working there, and he also, you know, that's his passion, is baking. but until he finds something else, he's going to try at home baking and see how that goes. But anyway, and then we left and came home and visited with Elijah and Chastity came on back home too. And we visited with them and just, you know, cut up with them and acted silly and stuff until way too late in the night. And then we was like, oh, we better go to bed because Dakota and Carlton was going to be here at 11 the next day. And they were. And so we, you know, all went to bed and got up and got ready for our day. And Dakota and Carlton came, and it was just so lovely just to have us all here together. That was very special to me. Last year I did not enjoy Christmas at all. I was very, very sick. I didn't even open my Christmas presents until the end of February last year because I was so sick. I had that spinal leak in my, I had that spinal leak, yeah, and I had horrible headaches. I couldn't even lift my head up without throwing up. So I didn't enjoy last Christmas at all. So I was all set to enjoy this year, and I did. I enjoyed it tremendously. And then, and that was Carlton's first time here, and he's looking around like everything's, you know, like it's a museum. I'm sure it's very odd to him. You know, I like weird things, and I like things that make me happy. It's about me. My house is about me. Now, Chastity, she's been here many, many times. She, you know, back when she used to live here in West Monroe, she was here all the time. Well, not all the time, but several times she's been here. And so she knows what my house is all about. She makes herself at home. She, you know, and I love it when people come to my house and they just make themselves at home and, you know, fix drinks or get them something to eat or do whatever they want to do and not, you know, act like a guest. Okay, Sassy, lay down. And not act like a guest. I like for when people come over that lay down. That they, you know, feel comfortable enough to lay down to make themselves at home. But we opened presents. There was a lot of presents to open, and we opened some presents. And then we had intermission, as I called it. And we had breakfast. Elijah and Chastity and Big Daddy cooked eggs and biscuits. And Jody grilled some sausage and boudin. And I know people are going to ask what boudin is. It's a Louisiana thing. I used to love boudin. You can look it up online, Boudin. And, of course, Dakota doesn't eat meat because he's vegetarian, and I didn't eat any of that. So I ate some raw, some Alfredo sauce stuff, something that I can swallow, and it tastes good, so. But we had a, you know, a nice little quick meal there, and then we went back to opening gifts and finished up our gift opening. And then after that, we had cheesecake. I had got at Walmart. I got one of the large cheesecakes with the different flavorings in it. And oh my goodness, Chastity is allergic to walnuts, and I'm allergic to coconut, and Dakota's allergic to coconut, so, you know, we are kind of careful about what we partake, but he named off Dakota was serving the cheesecake, and he named off the flavors, and she said, I'll take turtle. And so she's over there eating it, and she said, does this have walnuts in it? And Dakota's like, got the thing. He's like, yes, stop eating it. And she started itching. A few minutes later, she started itching, and her face was kind of swelling up, and maybe she was feeling a little bit in her chest, but she was also like, the last time she ended up in the ER, and it was a, you know, kind of a bad reaction, so she was kind of anticipating that and getting a little worried. She was nervous. Elijah went in there and found her some Benadryl and got her Benadryl, and then they come back into the living room where we all were, and Elijah said, well, Mom, this might be your chance to perform your ink pen trait. And so years and years and years ago, I had watched a video on using a, you know, ink pen barrel, and performing a trach and all. And so one time, a big daddy was sick and having a hard time breathing, and I was like, I got my ink pen ready. I can do the trach, you know, I'm ready. Just let me know when. And so, and I've always just joked about that over the years. And so Elijah said that, you know, be on standby. You might get your chance to do your ink pen trach. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I think I remember everything was on that video. You know, I'm ready. And so we're all kind of joking about it and everything. And she looks at Carlton and she says, seriously, call 911. Do not let them. She said, do not let them stick an ink pen in my throat. And Carlton said, I'll say stop. She said she didn't want y'all to do it. And I told her, I said, well, we'll, you know, divvy out your gifts. And so she was okay. She went to sleep and slept for a little bit. And then she was okay, though. She could feel the Benadryl was helping. It didn't get bad. So that's good. But we just had a lovely visit and just chatting, and yeah, it was good. It was good. My heart was full. I mean, my heart was overflowing. You know, I just enjoyed the day. I love giving gifts. That's my language, is gift giving. And I love watching people open gifts, and it was just a really good day. Now, before all that, on Tuesday, I forgot to say that my 4 kids, you know, Zeke and his siblings, Evie and Jana and River, they had came down, and I gave them their Christmas gifts, and I loved seeing them open their gifts. Like, that was just the best enjoyment for me. And so they each, all 4 of them, loved what they got. Especially Jana. She really loved hers. And Zeke loved his. Well, River, they all 4 loved them. But I think Jana might loved hers the most. And so I had a reborn doll that I had never taken out of the box. And when I got it and opened it, the head just seemed like really small on the doll to me. I wasn't expecting the doll to be that tiny. Of a newborn. It was more like a preemie. And so I just never even took it out of the box. And I gave that to Jana for Christmas, and she loved it. She had asked for a reborn doll for Christmas, and I asked her mom, was she getting one? And she said no. And I asked her, I said, was it okay if I give her one? And I went and got it, and she looked at it, and she's like, are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, yes, I do. And so it was nice. But and they visited with us for a little while Tuesday also. I love those kids, I really do. And then, yeah, my kids just hung out with us for a while. Then Dakota and Carlton left. Their Carlton's animals eat at 4 o'clock every day. So it was after their feeding time, and he said, you know, they're going to be confused, and they had to go so they could go feed animals and tend to them and such. And then we just sat with Elijah and Chastity, and visited, and, you know, done the things. And then they needed to get on back. They left that night because Chastity had to go to work the next morning, and she needed to go home and get some sleep. And so they left, and me and Big Daddy went through the house, tidied everything up. He swept. I ran the mop real quickly. No force. Like I wasn't scrubbing the floors. I was just kind of getting up any dirt and dog hair and stuff. Because Elijah had his 2 dogs, Ginger and Django. And so I went through the house and done that behind him as he swept, and we, you know, put everything away and got the house all clean and went to bed. My plans were the next day to get up, him go to work, and me just enjoy my clean, quiet house. I woke up sick as a dog, could not breathe. I had rapid breathing, but it was shallow. I couldn't get air in. I couldn't push air out, and so then I would panic, and then it would get worse, and it was just crazy. I was scared to death, but I knew if I stood up and kind of bent over and just calmed myself down and gave my lungs space to open up or something, I don't know, I could, you know, calm down and slow my breathing down and so I could get a deeper breath. But yeah, I did text Big Daddy and told him what was going on. He's like, you want me to come get you? I was like, no, because you're taking off work tomorrow. You don't need to leave work today. And so I made him stay at work, and I just practiced that all day long. Thursday night, I was so sick. Oh my gosh. I didn't know if I was going to make it through the night. I was so sick. Friday morning, I had my infusion in Shreveport, right? I told Big Dad, I said, I'm too sick to go. And he's like, no, we going. You're not missing that appointment. And I was like, so he helped me get dressed. I needed a shower desperately, but there wasn't no way I was supposed to be able to get a shower. So he helped me get dressed. We got in the car. We drove all the way to Shreveport. I got there. You have to go, there's lots of steps, but there is a ramp you can walk all the way up, but it's a good little walk. And I mean, I barely made it to my car from my house door, and I called them and I said, you know, I need a wheelchair, and they said, go to the back of the hospital and we'll have somebody out there for you. And they did, and they took me up in a wheelchair because there's no way I could have walked all that. And so I got in there, and the nurse was just like, oh my gosh, you're sick. I was like, I know. And so she called the doctor to come on up and see me, and Dr. Hyatt was like, oh, you know, you're too sick to get the infusion, because what the infusion does is it kills off cells, but it also kills off your bad cells and your good cells, and it lowers your immune system really, really low, like you're susceptible to everything. And so she said, you're too sick. she said it's not safe to even try it. So they, we talked for a little bit about some things going on and everything, and about my port, which will flush, but it will not draw back for blood draws and stuff. And she, you know, and I'm not doing blood draws anywhere lower than here anymore, because it's just too big of a risk for blood clots, amputations, and, you know, things like that. And so she said, well, you know, we have to do blood work before your test, so we have to have that port fixed before you get your next infusion. And she went and called the surgeon and left a message for him to, you know, call her so she could talk to him and everything, and tell him how urgent, and, you know, that I have to have this port. Like, if I'm going to need an IV, if I'm dehydrated, I have to have this port. If they have to do any blood work on me, labs, or, you know, anything like that, they're going to need this port. And so, anyway, she rescheduled my infusion for the end of the month, like I think maybe the 24th. And so we got in the car. Big Daddy went and got the car and pulled around to the back. They took me in a wheelchair down to the car and put me in the car. We got back on interstate and came straight back home. Guess who went straight to bed? And slept the rest of the day. Me. Well, by this time, see, Big Daddy had been sick, but then he started getting a little better, and then he got sick again on that Friday. So I've been really sick. Plus all this, this is on top of everything else I've had going on this month. And then he gets sick again, and he's in there sick as a dog right now. Bless his heart. And so this weekend we just laid in bed, just moaning and groaning and coughing, and yeah. And then this morning, not even this morning, they wait till like 12:30, the hospital calls me, and I was on the phone with my son Elijah last night. He wanted to know all my appointments coming up and stuff like that, and he's the one that cares about stuff like that. And so I wrote down all my appointments and told him everything. He's like, gosh, that's a lot. And I was like, yeah, it's a lot. And then, you know, that's not even counting like everything I got to do at home, my tube fittings, my, you know, G-tube stoma cleanings and tending to that, and medications through my tube and all that. I mean, it's like, I have a lot going on. Like, my life is revolving around my chronic illness right now, and I hate that, because I don't want my chronic illness to control my life. You know, I like to live my life, and this chronic illness stuff's just on the side, but it has just like exploded, and it's just so much going on. But anyway, and then I told Elijah, I said, but at some point this month I got to see about getting this port, what they're going to do about this port, if they can get it going, put something in there to make it work again or what. So the hospital called me today about 12:30 and said, you have an appointment today with the surgeon, and we leave at 3, so you need to be here before 3. And I'm like, okay, well, why hadn't somebody told me this before now? And so I got up, got dressed, and like I said, I needed to shower again, but it didn't happen. We barely made it down there, and I saw the surgeon, and I did get sent for an x-ray. My lungs are clear. my heart's enlarged, and my port appeared to be okay, but it will not draw back. So he said the only thing he can do is put a new port in. So I have a port. My shirt just rides up around my neck, but my little port is, well, where'd it go? My little port's right here. He's going to put a new port in on this side, and they're not going to do any, for pre-op, they're not going to do any blood work, because I just had some blood work done recently, and he said that's good enough. But they're going to use this port to put me to sleep as an IV, and because it will flush. So they're going to put an IV here to put me to sleep, and put a new port in over here, and just leave that port. He said it won't hurt a thing just to leave it, because he's going to have a way to, you know, put me to sleep, and he can't take me off of sleep and take it out. So anyway, so I have surgery January the 6th, is what they just told me. Early that morning, he said I'll be second case, so hopefully I don't lay there waiting all day. Hopefully not. And get that surgery out of the way and heal up a little bit before I have to go get my infusion, which is later in the month, I think, like maybe the 24th. So, yeah, that's a lot going on. And just on top of everything else going on, I've been dealing with the gastroparesis stuff all month long. And that's bad. That is bad. Between the lupus, the scleroderma, you know, Raynaud's, the gastroparesis, and just everything. Everything. And I've got to get back with my pain pump doctor in Shreveport, because I need my pain pump refill. It's just too much. It's just too much. You know, I've been so sick. I just laid there one night, like, and I don't mean to be morbid about this at all, and I wasn't thinking I was dying that night, but, you know, it's at one point, it's going to come our turn. And so I was just laying there, and I thought, you know, I went ahead and texted Big Daddy some obituary ideas and things that I did want, you know, mentioned. People who I don't mention in my obituary. So he hadn't said a word about it. I'm sure he's checked his email, because he checks it all the time for work. But he ain't said a word about it. But I did text him, like, just obituary information. And so it's something, you know, we have to think about as you get older. But also, not that I'm, you know, really that old. I just have a lot of chronic health issues. And you never know when your time's going to come. And yeah, I just got a lot going on. And at some point, when do you say enough's enough? Like, when does it become too much to deal with? Not trying to be sad or down or anything like that, but that's just the truth. That's being honest with myself and with you and everybody else, you know. But I just wanted to touch base with you guys and let y'all know I am still alive. I've just been having a really, really hard time. I did, is it Thursday? What is today? No, Saturday. I was like, I'm taking extra prednisone. If I'm going to, you know, knock this out and get rid of this, I need prednisone. So I took a bigger dose of prednisone Saturday. And Sunday, I took a large dose of prednisone. And I'll probably do it again today. And then I'll drop back down to my amount, which is just a little bit less. But yeah, just trying to kick this out of my body. And so it did help tremendously. Like prednisone, I have that love-hate relationship with it. I take prednisone every day, but at times I have to have a little kickstart amount to get me through and get me over flares and humps and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a lot going on. And, you know, I just hadn't been able to do videos. I've barely been able to get out of bed most days and tend to myself. Barely. Some days I didn't even do that. Some days I didn't even tend to myself. Let's just be honest. Ugh. And then last night I was like, you know, I haven't even ate anything since Wednesday. And that was Sunday night. Yeah. I was like, Wednesday. I ate just a little bit Wednesday when everybody ate some breakfast. And I ate a piece of cheesecake. I ate just some chocolate swirl cheesecake that afternoon. And that's the last I had ate. I didn't eat anything Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then last Sunday night I was like, I hadn't ate anything since Wednesday. And so, yeah, that's how sick I've been. I hope that I'm turning a corner. I feel like I might be, and I don't want to push myself. Normally, I'm a push it girl, you know. Just push myself and make myself do it, even though, or not do anything that I need to do, even though, you know, my body's not really feeling up to it. But I'm listening to my body, and I'm just taking it easy and slow, and it is what it is. But, so what's coming up for this? Well, I'm going to do another video on that tomorrow. Yeah, let's just do another video. This is more of a health update and just what's been going on. But I'm going to do a video for 2025 coming up. Look for it soon. I'm not even going to say what date because I don't know how I'm going to wake up from one day to the next right now. And I hate that. I hate that I've had this sudden decline in my health. And I'm trying to find, not that I've been doing anything, but in my mind I've been thinking about, okay, what is my new normal? What can I do? What can I focus on? What is the new me? You know, every time I have such a setback, and this is a huge setback in my health, I have to kind of find the new me and figure me out. And yeah, it's hard. It is so hard. But that's what it is. And I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm not going to let it get me down. But I am going to take care of myself and take time to heal and, you know, try to get better. On this, I will tell y'all my stoma. If you saw a video here a few weeks back, maybe 2 weeks back, maybe beginning of the month, I don't know, of how bad my stoma was. I'm going to tell you, it looks really good right now. It looks so good. So we'll try to keep that going as long as possible. You know, sometimes I can get it cleared up. It looks really good. And then for some reason, it just blows up. And it's horrible. But right now, it looks so good. I praise the Lord for that. And I hope that I keep it kind of going there. But yeah, I have talked y'all's ears off and just rambled. But let me know how your Christmas went. And, you know, what did you do? If you were alone, what did you do? And what did you how did you pass your time that day? And if you was with loved ones, friends, family, your dog, whoever, your cat, let me know what y'all did and how it went. That'll give me something to read while I'm in bed. Sometimes I'll, if I can see, I'm going to tell y'all, my eyes, and I know it's all this health stuff, some days I can't see diddly squat, and I can't read anything, but some days I can read. I mean, it's blurry, but with my glasses, I can make out what things say and everything, but when I can lay in the bed and read, I like to scroll and read your comments. And then I usually fall asleep. But on my bed, I know if I drop my phone, it's going to land on my bed. So I feel safe reading the comments and stuff while I'm laying in the bed. And even if I fall asleep, the phone's just laying here beside me when I wake up. But guys, I love you all, and like I said, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, and I'm gonna be back, and we're gonna do a video talking about the new year coming up. So I will let you all get going, and see you in the next video, friends. Bye, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I love each and every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember, it's a beautiful day to crochet or do anything else that brings you joy and happiness and brings you peace and relaxation. Love you guys. See you in the next video.